Okay, so we're going to start rigging our pumpkins, okay? And the first thing we need to do is a little groundwork, foundation work, and so that we can understand what we're headed for. Okay, so with our jack-o'-lanterns or OJacks, we have different groups of UVs, and everybody's is going to be slightly different here. But what you need to understand is one of these groups is intended for use with your face, the face of the pumpkin, of the jack-o'-lantern. So we want to assign a material to this that we can control in depth. Okay, and then the rest of the pumpkin, it doesn't need to be controlled so much. So we can assign a different material to the other sections, however many there are. Okay, so I'm going to start by assigning a new material to these off sections where I don't intend my face to go. So I selected them both. I'm going to go to assign new material. I'm just going to use a blend. And now I've got a material assigned to just those faces. Okay, now I need to select this other one, and we're going to need to use a layered shader for that one. So we go right click on it with that selection made, assign new material, and we want to use a layered shader.
Are we doing this on our outside or inside?
You'll do both, all respective parts. You know, anywhere where the face needs to be needs the layered shader. Anywhere the face is not going to be can be assigned just a regular old blend. Okay. Now this is going to be tricky. Is right off the bat you can see that we've got, and I don't have an answer for this yet. Right off the bat, our blend is quite shiny, and the layered shader is not. So we'll have to resolve that. Okay, so with that done, I can select it, and I still have some history on it from when I did my UV layout. So I need to go to File, or not File, but Edit, Delete by Type, History. And I need to, because we're starting the rigging process, we need to be very careful to name everything that we do. Every node that's created needs to have a name. So I've just created two new shaders. Okay, so I need to go to my window, rendering editors, Hypershade, and look at all the nodes that I've created. Okay, so right now I've got Blend 1, Lambert 1, Layered Shader 1, Particle Cloud 1, and Shader Glow 1. Okay, well, the Lambert, Particle, and Shader Glow are all default shaders in Maya. We don't need to mess with those. But we do need to rename the layered shader. So if I hold down Control and double click on it, I can rename this. And I'm going to rename it OJack Facial _ layered shader. But before I press enter, I'm going to copy this because I'm going to have to use it other places. Okay? I'm going to Control double click on the Blend 1, and I'm going to rename it. I just pasted in my value. Now I need to go to the Shading Groups section and do the same thing. And I need to rename these. Okay, and now I need to make sure I rename these appropriately, the blend is responsible for everything but the face, right? So I'm just going to call it body and stem, or just body stem. Copy, okay. And I go back to my materials section and make sure I get this one correct. Okay. And now we're up to date. So now we need to assign some files and textures to this thing. So if I right click on the pumpkin and say material attributes, then that gives me my layered shader. Okay, I'm not going to mess with this one just yet. Let's work on our blend. So I'm going to select that, and under the color channel I need to assign a color file. Okay, now that gives me a file and a place 2D texture 1. So I need to rename these as well. It's going to get confusing if we don't. So both of those are renamed. Okay. Now I need to be more specific with these because these are specifically the color channel. So I need to actually add in an underscore color on both of them. Because we have to stay organized or it's just going to get really confusing really fast. And normally I actually lowercase these. So this is the camel case I told you guys about. Okay, so now we navigate back to the actual material, and we know that we need, do we need transparency on this one? We don't, because this is the body and the stem. There's no cutouts on this section. Okay, so now if we go to our layered shader, we know that we need at least 2 different layers. One is going to be our transparency for the mouth and the face cutouts, and the other one is going to be for the color. That way we can move them around independently. Okay, so I'm thinking through this as we go, just so you know. So the base color, well, we need 2. So we just click to the right of this color swatch, and it gives us a second one. And on the first one, let's make this, give it a file, and this is going to be the facial, let's see, OJack facial underscore let's see, background underscore color underscore. Okay, so that's long, but it's descriptive. So I'll copy that, press enter. I need to rename my 2D texture, place 2D texture node as well. So the same thing, but with a different extension. Okay, so we've got that. Now, on this next layer, we're going to have to